Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Yak, thanks for coming today to testify, and I want to echo my colleague's comments about the people he represents and just say that how thankful we are that the Technical Center is there and they're doing great work, and please extend that on to them on my behalf as well. So either for you or Mr. Gibson, if you could help me out a little bit in explaining how the FAA's current lines of business coordinate together in our quest to integrate drones safely into the airspace. How does that currently work?
Thank you, Congressman. If I understood your question, across lines of business within the FAA?
Right, within the FAA, yeah.
Yes, sir. I think it works well. We can always improve things, but when I first arrived in September of 15, at that time, the Deputy Administrator, Mr. Whitaker, and myself sat down after I had observed for a couple months that I thought there could be better balance within the headquarters as far as moving the technology forward. We'd been focused on the vehicle and the designs, and we needed to bring the operators and folks on board to include training and awareness. So we have since established what we call a UAS board, which is attended by all the lines of business and the senior folks and conducted by the deputy, sometimes the administrator himself, to tee up key issues and focus just on UAS. So I think we made a lot of progress over the last 12 months.
So what would be the next step then?
Well, I think we continue that process of awareness and integration across the headquarters. I think the other piece that we're doing, really two. One is federal integration. So I actually chair an activity called the UAS XCOM. It was established in 2009 language. And it's quite robust now. We've added a number of memberships to include the National Security Council, Office of Science and Technology Policy, but also the industry. And we have pushed out, as you may or may not know, the DAC, the Drone Advisory Committee, to engage with that portion. So that gives us a pretty good balance, both within the building, if you will, the headquarters, across our federal partnerships, and then engaged heavily with industry. Not just industry, but private sector.
Yeah, so what would be, in that sense then, what have been the products of that work? In other words, if you were to ask folks here at the other end of the table, what would they point to as the product of that work?
Well, the product within the building, of course, has been 107 in the work that we've begun with Ops over People, originally known as the micro rule. Many of the waivers, exemptions. So we've stepped across boundaries within the headquarters. I think on the federal side, I'm also heading up the counter UAS, or the 2206 effort. And there's been countless efforts made there with DHS and DOD, and I know I have multiple meetings again next week. Our next meeting is 9 June on that. So there's been a clear engagement on that. And then the DAC is now past its first two initial meetings, and the subcommittee's been established, and we have 3 working groups that are working on many of the issues that no doubt interest the committee.
Yeah. Ms. Yak, I understand that the center has been involved in testing for probably several, but 2 key next-gen programs, Datacom and ADS-B. Can you share what this testing has revealed?
Thank you for the question. Next Gen, you talked about ADS-B and Datacom, were those the two? Right. We're very proud of being involved in both of those programs. Datacom, we do have a laboratory. We've been responsible for developing the testing procedures on Datacom, which has been what we would call an end-to-end process. Datacom interfaces with many, many different systems, including the aircraft itself, as well as ERAM, for example. So the laboratory integrates at the technical center with these systems, and we were able to, using antennas on our roof, be able to simulate the end-to-end testing with Datacom. So that's exciting. The rollout has been going out wonderful. ADS-B, we started many, many years ago, about 2014 or so. We were involved in the research as well as the testing. Our own aircraft tested the capability, and we were part of the rollout, and that's been a very successful rollout and is operational for quite a while now.
Good. Thank you. I yield back. Thank you.
So